Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bongani Shiba of Walk Tall with Shiba, the podcast that inspires, motivates, and gets everybody to walk tall. Today, with the very first episode, I am sitting with Tembega Ndlangamandla, also known as TBK, the ever-smiling, ever-laughing, fun-loving, known as the Facebook celebrity of fun. She will tell us about herself a little later. Tembega, hi.
Hi, Shiba. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so excited for being the first on the episode. So
don't ever forget, you were my first. Right. You are known for quite a lot of things, but I think one of the things that is very inspirational about yourself is the fact that you are always laughing. When you look at your pictures, it's not even a pose, it's not a pout, it's a laugh, a hearty laugh. Tell me a little bit about yourself, your background, your present ground, and maybe your future ground.
Okay. All right. I'm a firstborn of 3 girls in a family of 7 kids. It's so weird. I have 6 siblings, 2 brothers, and
that makes 5. You said 7.
I have 2 brothers, and then I have 4 sisters. And then I'm the
maths is probably not Tembega's strong point, but it's fine.
Yeah,
so
hated it.
Okay, you're firstborn of 3 girls,
yes.
and
from my mom, there's 3 girls, and I'm the firstborn.
Okay.
So I'm basically from a big family, a very happy family. I always say to people that I'm from I grew up in gated communities because sakhulela etingopolo, which means I grew up in Mhlambayati when it was still the Sutu Pulp. And then my dad moved to Big Bend, and I grew up in Big Bend, Ubambo Village. And in between all that, my mother was teaching is still teaching at the university. So we used to stay in those compounds. So everything was so gated.
Basically. All right, let's move into that a little bit. So you've traveled, you've lived in Mhlamanyati, Big Bend, and some parts of university.
Yeah, Luyengwe and Kwaluseni.
Okay, and your present ground is as what?
I am a customer service consultant.
Okay.
Working in Manzini, which I've never done before. It was my first time. I was kind of hectic.
Okay, which have you not done? The customer service or
the working in Manzini?
Oh, the working in Manzini.
Yeah,
right.
It was. I've always wanted to be like a Mbabane person because I've always thought Mbabane was so cool.
And you're not originally a Mbabane person.
I'm not a Mbabane person. I'm not a Manzini person, and I get asked all the time, "What was this in Michael Zine?" No.
Right. Okay. And your future ground looks like what?
My future ground looks like it's going to be hopefully still in the social media space, marketing space as well. Yeah, so that's
right.
So, hopefully entertainment. I don't know.
It looks like you like to work with people
a lot.
How is that? Is it because you're from a big family and you grow up in gated communities with a lot of kids around the place? What made you have a love for people?
I think I would say maybe the family setup allowed me to fall in love with people. Right. Yes, the big family, the extended family is also huge. So you get used to these things, and people are different, and they bring different aspects to your own life. And I tend to like to pick up a lot of positive stuff from different people. So when you interact with people, you get to draw a lot of inspiration as well.
Let's talk about that, particularly the inspiration part. Okay. Who and what inspires you to be who you are? And I just would like to say who you are as far as Walk Tall is concerned is a happy person and a lovable personality. But maybe you can tell us a different who you are, but who and what inspires you?
This is always a strange question because it's not like one person. But I'm going to be a cliche here and say my mom.
Okay.
Because my mom is she's a fantastic woman. She's been through a lot, but in being through a lot, she's also been able to come out as a loving person, a loving mom, a loving teacher, because she's a lecturer, and she's also generally a very joyful person, and that is something that has transcended to her kids, and even her family as well. So
you say her kids. So there's a lot of happiness in your house. You are just a portion of it.
Yeah. I remember the first time people saw me out with my sister. Everybody was like, "Whoa, there's two of them."
I can imagine.
So yeah, it's something like that. And on my maternal side, they are also very happy people. They're, when people can laugh through their tough times, or when
and this is on your mom's family side.
On my mom's family side, they can laugh through their tough times, and we do tend to spend a lot of time with our maternal side of the family.
Aunts, yeah.
And on then paternal side, I've got the illest grandmother. So
illest grandmother, right?
So she's also a bit gangster like that, but this is all part of the fun. And my cousins, it's just a very fun, happy, and loving setup. So it's easy to then take that out to.
So you draw inspiration, especially to make you the kind of person that you are, basically from your mother primarily, but also from the larger family as such.
Yes.
Can you illustrate a time when you were feeling like you're not so much yourself and had to draw on one or all of these inspirations to get back to your usual self? And I guess what I'm looking for here is so that the listener can see that there's always something you can lean back to, some sense of comfort that you can always go back to be inspired back to being an energy that is positive.
Yeah. I was thinking about this because when you think of the worst time of your life, it's so strange. The worst time of my life was when I was in a relationship with somebody. And
it's interesting. It's the worst time of your life and you can laugh about it.
I was in a relationship with somebody, and this relationship had actually run its course, but when you don't want to get out of it, like you don't want to let it go.
Right.
And then it starts eating you up. Like you actually see yourself becoming worse, a worse person than what you are. Your friends start telling you that you've changed, and so on.
So you become a monster now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I know people are probably like, "Oh no, TVK never." But months always by in the house, you're like, I think we'll say, I don't like the person I'm becoming. So that basically, I would say that must have been one of the worst times of my life. And what I drew strength from was that my parents are separated. So I have a blended family. Because my dad remarried and stuff. So when I sat and thought, this relationship is not working, what am I going to do? I mean, I thought this guy was like, the one, and so on and so forth. And my mom would ask me, but like, sis, what's going on? And then I never spoke to her about this. But I sat and I looked at her and I was like, how? She came out of something that she was in for years.
Right.
And she was able to move on.
And remain the happy person.
Of course, she also had to regrow, or I don't know how to put it. Start
re-establish
over.
herself.
Re-establish herself. Yes, start over. And I thought, you know what, I can do this. And I was like, you know what, dude, sharp later.
And that was the end of a sad relationship.
That was the end of that, and I think most of my friends can attest that since then. Now I've become the TVK that they fell in love with, kind of thing.
Okay.
So
yeah. So I'm glad. Basically, we can always go back to what we draw our strengths from at any given time with whatever. Okay. What is the one thing that people mostly assume wrong about you?
Okay. Can I give you two things?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Firstly, people assume that I never get angry.
Do you? Oh, okay, sorry.
I am human.
I guess I'm one of those then.
I am human, guys. I get extremely angry, and I don't like getting angry because, I mean, it's always short-lived. I'm one of those people that if I'm angry, I will get angry, probably shout about it, and
Throw your toys around.
throw my toys around, and then get over it.
All right.
You know, I don't like to dwell on anger and stuff. And then the other thing is the assumption that I'm high maintenance. Gents, I'm not high maintenance. Can you just get with me already?
Fellas, come
Ask
on
me
now.
out on that date.
Right, so you heard it here. You heard it on Walk Tall. She is available. She is not high maintenance. Fellas, I'm going to get you that number later on. Right? Okay. If you were to get rid of one thing in the world, what would it be?
Discrimination, no doubt, because discrimination covers, I'm talking racial, sexual orientation, gender, religious, and all of that.
Segregation as a whole.
Yeah.
Are you practicing that idea?
Yeah, yes, I will say so. I will admit, though, that I've also had to learn or to unlearn certain behaviors and certain I don't know if you can unlearn beliefs, but you unlearn things that you've always thought were right, or people
Or maybe
always told you that they were
replace
wrong.
them, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've also I've unlearned some of those things and got to understand other people and how some people which we think are not normal actually are normal. They're just different from us.
Wow. All right. It's a big problem as far as I'm concerned too. The segregation, the classifications,
Yeah.
and so on, be it religious and so on. But you're also right. There is a lot of unlearning that we have to do because culture has taken us and put us in a certain box, and so we think in one way. Kudos to you for having seen that and started to work on it. But then again, a happy person like yourself cannot afford to hate. Okay. Lastly, as part of the discussion, I'd like to know what you would say. How would you encourage people to keep their head up, to keep smiling, to stay positive, and to walk tall despite whatever they go through?
Okay.
Of course, they won't have to go to your mother.
Of course. I mean, but they could. I've been telling her she needs a side hustle. But, okay. Many of my friends, actually maybe even the people that follow me on Facebook, since I'm now famous.
Yes, of course.
I hardly ever talk about religion or my relationship with God or whatever. For, certain reasons. I think I'm also trying to find my way regarding that. But first of all, I also learned a few, like when you're going through a few things sometimes that, if you do believe in God and you do believe in the power of prayer, it's always good to pray about certain things. Sometimes voicing it out when you're by yourself also helps you in actually admitting that you have this issue and you have an issue that needs to be solved. And you can see that it's not something that you can do alone. There's someone else you can do it with, even if it's not someone that you can actually see.
Wow.
If I think if people can understand that.
Get in touch with your spirituality is basically what you're saying.
Yeah. And then also, this thing of thinking positive, guys, it works. It really does work. There is always a silver lining.
Eish. Yeah. All right. We have exactly 30 seconds to shut this down. So I'll ask you this couple of questions.
Okay.
Quickly answer me. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Friendship is?
Love.
AKA or Casper?
AKA.
You're a jerk if
you hit your girlfriend or your wife.
Stop hitting your women, gentlemen. All right. You have heard it first here on Walk Tall with Shiba, the very first episode of this podcast. Thank you for listening. I am Bongani Shiba. You have been listening to Walk Tall with Shiba featuring Tembega, aka TBK. Remember, anyone can be an inspiration to someone. Have a good day.
Okay.